Good morning, it's 5:08 on day 109. I'm waking up at Lavardi's in Dalton, Massachusetts. 57.8 degrees, and I'm gonna wake up. Alright folks, 6:05, 58.6 degrees. And I'm just leaving Tom's place. Very comfortable, very cool guy to just kind of let people post up in his backyard like that. He was even, just as I was leaving there, bringing out like a cute little tray of coffee mugs and napkins and stuff. I guess he's going to be bringing out coffee and donuts here in the next 30 minutes or so, but I'd rather just walk to the gas station and buy my own coffee and donuts. And that way I'm a little closer to where the trail is. I just don't like sitting around, but really sweet, really sweet gesture. I mean, he's just a dude doing it, you know, and you don't pay him anything. He's just letting people camp there, so not even asking donations or anything. So cool guy to just do that and then give people coffee and donuts and stuff in the morning. I mean, that's extra, really extra. There were 3 other people there. Rat Bastard, Ultralight Barbie, and Cowboy. And I guess the 3 of them had zeroed yesterday, waiting for the outfitter there in town to open up. They're trying to get new shoes and new packs or something, not really clear. But the outfitter doesn't open till 10, so they're kind of just solidly in a holding pattern for a little while, waiting for all that. But I'm not in a holding pattern. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna see if I can find this gas station. Coffee shop still doesn't open until 10 or 6:30. I don't think it's worth it to me to wait that extra 25 minutes. I think I'm just gonna go to the gas station, get some breakfast there, and then get back on trail. So look at that cool truck. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get back to it and I'll check back with y'all later. Alright folks, 6:47, 63 degrees on the nose, and I'm walking through some neighborhood. I said on yesterday's video, it's always nice to be on trail and come across one of these towns where you walk straight through the town. And it is, that's for sure, because, you know, it's just kind of neat. And everything's kind of right there in front of you. But on the other hand, it's always very weird when they kind of route the trail like directly through the neighborhood. So I guess like if you just walk to your neighbor's house, you're doing an AT section hike or something, which is kind of strange to think about, but that's what it is. Anyways, so I guess I am technically back on trail. It just doesn't really feel like the trail, but that's fine. Yeah, I wanted to just touch base about yesterday. So I went out to try and go to Dewey's public house there, which is like a block away from where I was staying, but they're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Real bummer, real bummer. So I had to walk a little further, walked probably another quarter mile or so down to like a sub shop, and was excited to read the word grinder. I haven't really read, like, not, you know, not in the terms of an app, but in the terms of like a sandwich. They were selling grinders, so I guess I'm officially in Massachusetts or New England or whatever now, because grinder isn't really a term I normally think of for a sandwich, but such as colloquialisms. So yeah, I got like a cheeseburger grinder, and it was fine. It was fine. I would have rather gone to the public house, but that's all right. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish walking through this neighborhood. And hopefully pretty soon we'll be back in the woods. I think the plan for today, I'm hoping to go 25, but I'm really gonna see what the heat does to me. You know, if it just winds up being too hot, there's a stopping point like 4 miles nearer or something. And that should be achievable. And I feel like if I do wind up going 25, it would also be a bit of a longer later day. Probably wouldn't get in until about 5 or something like that. 5 or 6 or something. Going in. So we'll kind of see how it all goes, especially since we're climbing the highest peak in Massachusetts today, Mount Greylock. So maybe 25, maybe 21 or 19 or whatever it is, I don't really know. But we'll kind of hike along. Just like yesterday, I plan on going, I mean, yesterday I was really metering my steps, you know, really going nice and easy. You know, there's really nothing to prove when it's going to be 90 degrees outside. You just want to stay healthy, stay comfortable as you can, and just keep moving towards Maine. So that's what we're going to try and repeat today. Had success with it yesterday. Hopefully today will be just as nice. And yeah, we'll get moving. I'll talk to you later. Hey, alright folks, it is 2:09 p.m. and 85 degrees, and I've just made it to the summit of wherever I am. Just made it to the summit of Greylock, Mount Greylock, the highest point in Massachusetts. So that's, what was it, if I started, let's see, about 5.5 hours or so to get to where I am. I think, I don't really know how many miles, to be perfectly honest, 17 or something like that. So not my finest clip, certainly not my worst clip. Not too bad, I'm happy with it. I haven't really been eating a lot of snacks today, just been trying to move along. So I think I'm gonna sit down and eat some protein bars and stuff. I also have my sleeping bag. Got a little wet last night with the dew that settled in. Not super wet, just a little damp. So I opened that up, try and air it out, and hopefully it can dry up a little bit. I think at this point I am probably going to push that next 8 miles or so to get into the camp I was looking at the 25-mile mark. yeah, about 8 miles from here, but it's about 2-to-1 descent to ascent. So it's gonna be mostly downhill, and I'm hoping it'll be okay. Like, it won't be too brutal. I'm feeling pretty good so far, so we'll see how we go. 8 miles or so. If that's 3 hours, I should be getting in around 5, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and mash this quick snack, and then we'll move on. Definitely had a bit of a heartbreaking moment when I got up here, that the restaurant is closed. So yet again, I was kind of looking forward to getting a snack when I got up to the summit, and yet again I was just disappointed, man, disappointed. They even they did the heartless thing of putting on their closed sign all the delicious, some of the delicious foods that they serve for lunch, and then they're closed. Like, dude, if you got a closed sign, don't tell me what I'm missing, man. Just tell me you're out of luck. You're out of luck. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and make do with some protein bars. I'm gonna sit down, mash those, and then we'll get back on trail. All right, folks, it is 6:37 and 77.4 degrees or something like that. You see my pack up on this tent pad. You might be able to see that outhouse out there in the center, that privy. Oh, a few little chipmunks went scampering underneath of my tent pad. That's pretty neat. Here's one under there now. Anyways, made it here to I think it's the Sherman Brooks campsite. This is my destination for the day. It's about 25 miles. But 6,000 feet of elevation gain, and what was it, 6,000 up and 6,100 up and 5,900 down. So it's far from my biggest day elevation wise, but that's decent elevation for recent history, and decent mileage as well. So it got pretty warm today for sure. I think I've already drank, it was either 8 or 9 liters. I kind of lost count. 8 or 9 liters of water. I'm just big on water. That's definitely just part of my game, is smash water, early, often, just a lot of water. So that's always been I've always looked on it man, this is the #1 easiest thing I can do to keep myself relatively healthy and happy out here. And there's not a reason in the world why I shouldn't be smashing water. So that's what I do. Yeah, man, these chipmunks are all over the place right here. I bet they're going to be keeping me up, but hopefully they keep the mice away or something. This whole area right here, if you can see behind me and stuff, suffered a really bad fire. I think it was earlier this year, a really bad wildfire. Well, really bad by East Coast Appalachian Trail standards in Massachusetts, and I guess they used to have 3 of these tent platforms, but one of them got totally burnt up, and now they only have 2. So, I don't see anyone else here. I did see Raincatcher, who I ran into weeks ago on the trail at some point, met weeks ago. But he's a hammocker, so he posted up a little further back. Anyways, I gotta go ahead and get this tent set up. I'm gonna stop blabbering. I need to get my tent set up. I need to get some dinner, and I need to go to sleep. Boy, I am tired. I don't think I'm gonna check back in today. I'm just way too wiped. But cool thing, we're only 3 or 4 miles from the Vermont border, so we'll pass that super early tomorrow. I did call a motel in Bennington, Vermont, for tomorrow night. I'm going to be staying in a motel, definitely washing some sweat off of my body, and also picking up a package. I think I should have a package there waiting for me, so that'll be pretty good to scoop that up. Yeah, so it'll be a 17 or 18 mile day or something tomorrow, to get into Bennington, and then I'll bunk up there and get back on trail the next day, so whatever, we'll just kind of keep on heading north. It's going to be great. I'm going to turn in or whatever, get ready to turn in, and I'll check in with y'all tomorrow. I will see you then. Good night. Hey y'all, so I just finished dinner and thought of one other thing I forgot to mention today, which is that according to legend, Mount Greylock, where we were earlier, is a place that Herman Melville used to really like to hike, as well as I think it was Henry David Thoreau and Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, if I'm not mistaken. But Melville was from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, right basically at the foothills of Greylock. So apparently he used to hike up there, and allegedly they say that the mountain, like the way that the mountain looked, was the inspiration for Moby Dick. But I mean, that's an awful long book that has very little to do with mountains, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'd be remiss for not mentioning it anyways. And now I'm going to bed. See you tomorrow.